For this blanket that we want to make, I'll be using this wool. If you're in Nigeria, this is a locally made yarn, and it is acrylic yarn. So this yarn is it comes in 100 grams. So I'm making a baby blanket, and I'll be going with either 36 by 48 inches or 36 by 36 inches. So let's see how that would work out. I'm going to need my tape roll, and then I have a 6mm hook right here, crochet hook. So what I'm going to do is to start with the foundational chain. So to begin, I'll be starting with the slip knot. I have my tape roll here so that by the time I do the foundational chain, I'll be able to measure to see if I have, you know, around 36 inches or a little bit more than that. So what I'm going to do right now is to start with my slip knots. So, and then this is what I have. So I'll begin my chain to the length of about 36 inches. Okay, so 1, so I will be counting from here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to let you know how many chains I have that will give me 36 inches for this yarn that I'm using. So this is what I have for 10 chains. So I'm going to continue till I have about a length of 36 inches. So I made 150 chains right here, and it is measuring around 37 inches or just a little bit around that. So that is fine. You want to make sure your chain is in like an even number, okay? So this is what I have right here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do now is to do the first row, and this is, you can see the hook right here. So I'm going to skip the stitch very, very close to the hook. Okay, there is a chain here. I'm going to skip it and move to the next one. So what I'm going to do is to do a single crochet. So I just come in here, okay, I skip this chain, come in here, pull the yarn through, okay, and then this is what I have. So what I just did now was called a single crochet. So what I'm going to do now is to, in that same chain that we just did the single crochet, I'm going to insert my hook, pull the yarn, okay, go to the next chain, insert my hook, pull the yarn. Now I have 3 loops on my crochet, as you can see, okay, and then I'm going to repeat that again, pull the yarn through, and now I have 4. So what I'm going to do now is loop my yarn on my crochet hook, and then I'm going to pull this one that I just looped through these 4 loops. Okay, so I'm just going to pull everything through like this. So did you see that? And then I'm going to chain 1. Does that make sense? So we're going to continue from this part where we did, you know, the last loop before the chain. Okay, so I'm just going to insert my hook in there, loop 1, insert my hook in the next one, next chain, loop 1. Now we have 3, we want 4. So I'm going to insert my hook in the next one, next chain, loop 1, and now I have 4. So what I'm going to do is to loop another one and then pull it through these 4 loops. Okay, so once I do that, I'm going to chain 1 like this. So did you see what I did here? So I'm going to repeat the same thing again. Where I did the last loop, I'm just going to insert my hook, loop, insert, loop, insert again, and then loop. So you want to have 4 loops on your crochet hook, and then you loop again and pull through the 4 that were on the crochet hook earlier. And then what you're going to do is to chain 1, continue like that, okay? So can you see what I have here? We're going to just repeat the same thing through the entire length of our foundational chain, okay? So this is very, very easy to do, and we continue like that. In that same space, okay? In that same space, not the next one, in the same space, as you can see right here, this one, we're going to insert our hook, loop, move to the next chain, insert our hook, loop. We have 3, so we need 1 more. We're going to insert our hook into the next chain, pull the yarn through, and now we have 4, and then we're going to loop this yarn and then pull it through the 4 loops that we had earlier. And this is what we have. And the next thing we're going to do is to do what? Chain 1. So guys, this is what I have left to complete. So I'm going to insert my hook into this chain where I made the last stitch, okay? I insert my hook, I pull my yarn, okay? Insert my hook again, pull my yarn. I have 3 on my crochet hook. Insert my hook again, pull my yarn, and then I have 4, okay? And then I take another one and then pull it through like so. So for these other stitches that we did, after doing something like this, we always chain 1, right? But we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to end with a single crochet. So for a single crochet, what I'm going to do now is to insert my hook through this last chain, pull my yarn like so. So I have 2 on my crochet hook. I'm going to take another one and then pull it through like so. And then I'm going to chain 1. Okay, then the next one we're going to do is to turn our work like so, so we can move on to the next row. So after doing this chain, we're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. So you can see the top of the stitch. We're going to be doing this underneath the stitch, okay? So I'm just going to insert my hook under here. So can you see what I'm doing? Pull my yarn through, loop, and then pull through like this, okay? So this is what I have. So in this same space, I'm going to insert my hook, pull my yarn, go under this stitch that we have here. Can you see? Pull my yarn through. Now I have 3. Go under the next stitch, okay? So I go under the next stitch, pull my yarn through like so. Now I have 4, right? Then I'm going to take my yarn again and then pull it through the entire 4 and then chain 1. Okay, so I'm going to continue this throughout. So I'm going to continue this throughout the entire length of this row that we are trying to crochet. Insert my hook where I made the last stitch, pull my yarn through, insert my hook under this stitch, pull my yarn through. I have 3. I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. So I'm going to insert my hook, pull my yarn through. I have 4, and then I take my yarn again and pull it through the entire 4 loops, and then I chain 1. In that same space, I'm going to insert my hook, pull my yarn, under the next stitch, insert my hook again, pull my yarn. I have 3, do the 4th one, okay, like so, okay, pull my yarn. I have 4, take my yarn again and then loop it through those 4 loops, okay, chain 1, and then I'm going to continue throughout the length of this crochet. So I'm almost at the end of the first row, so I'm just going to finish up this last bit. I insert my hook into where I made the last stitch, pull my yarn. We have to insert my hook, pull my yarn through. We have 3, and then I'm going to insert my hook through this end. So what's going to be on top of the hook will be the last stitch, okay? So I'm going to insert my yarn like so. So I need to open this up a bit, okay? So I insert my hook, I pull my yarn through like so, and I have 4. So what I'm going to do is take another yarn and pull it through the 4 that we have on the crochet hook, and this is what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do after this is to do a single crochet. So on this part where I made the last stitch, I'll insert my hook again, okay? Pull my yarn through. All right, so this is what I have. And then I have my single crochet done. Then I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, okay? At this part now, I'm going to do a single crochet again. So after chaining 1, you turn your work, do a single crochet. So I'm doing the single crochet right at this part. So I insert my hook, pull my yarn over, and then pull it through, and this is my single crochet. On this same part where I did the single crochet stitch, I'm going to insert my hook, pull my yarn, move to the next under it, move to the next stitch under it. Can you see? Pull my yarn, that is 3, okay? Do the same thing for the next part, okay? Insert my hook under the stitch. So I insert my hook, pull my yarn, and then I have 4, and then I'm going to yarn over and then pull everything through like so. So I'm just going to continue this, keep increasing it till I get to my desired length, which is either 36 inches or 48 inches. But let's see how we go, okay? So I'm just going to continue. Chain 1, okay? Insert my hook where I made the last stitch, pull my yarn through. The next one, insert, pull my yarn through. The next one, insert, pull my yarn through. Take another yarn or yarn over. I take another yarn and then pull it through the 4, chain 1, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing, okay? So guys, I'm done with my blanket. It is measuring 37 inches by 32 inches, and I am fine with that. So this is what the stitch looks like. It's a textured blanket. It's quite thick because of the kind of stitch that I used to make this blanket, okay? What you can do when you want to close off your blanket is to do a slip stitch, okay? So I'll just go ahead and do the slip stitch to close it off. So did you see that? To close off your blanket after doing the slip stitch, cut up to this extent, pull your yarn through, and then hide, the rest of the yarn in between the stitches. That is if you are okay with this. But if you want to go ahead and do a blanket edge on this blanket, which is, totally a different type of stitch, you can go ahead and, leave your yarn like so. Don't cut it. Go ahead and do a slip stitch, okay? And then in my next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do a blanket edging following, more like a continuation of this process. So I'm going to show you how to do a blanket edging, a very, very nice blanket edging that you are going to love. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you in my next tutorial where I show you, like I said, how to do the blanket edging, okay? Or a blanket edge, whichever you want to call it. So see you guys in my next video, and bye.